This weekend saw the second and fourth teams placed in Midlands 2 North West League go head-to-head. Moseley Oak having had some good results and looking to place one hand on the playoff place at the end of the season, and Old Salts with a difficult season behind them, but still very much in touch with the top slots. Saturday's game set up to be a crucial tussle between the two sides, with the winner sending clear messages to the rest of the trailing pack. I caught up with head coach Nick Sportchich and asked him just how important this game was.
Yeah, it's been a mixed season. We started with a lot of players out with injury. They've started to come back. We've changed a lot as far as patterns of play have gone, and it's taken the lads a bit of time to get used to it. But I think they're now really getting used to it, and we're refining the patterns of play and the systems we play in. As far as today's game goes, it's another opportunity for us to gauge our improvement. We played them earlier in the season. And although the scoreline indicates we were well beaten, made a lot of silly mistakes that contributed to our downfall. So the big thing we're looking for today is that consistency, continuity. We want to stay connected defence-wise and minimise their opportunities as far as possible.
I mean, that's a good point to pick up on. I mean, you wouldn't have said as the fans of the club that the defence has been bad this year, but yeah, there you are. Salts have got a negative points difference going into this game, but they're still in touch with promotion at fourth in the league. I mean, that must be a really strange problem to deal with.
It is a strange one. It's difficult to assess what the problems are. However, I think if you analyse the way that we're now defending, again, we've changed the defensive pattern. It's taken the lads a bit of time to get used to it. They are now used to it, and I think it would be better to gauge maybe our last 8 or 9 games, and I think that would give us a fair reflection of where we sit. Certainly, I think defensively, I'm certainly confident when we get the pattern right that we're very tough to break down.
What are you looking for from the lads today? What are the key areas of the game that you think where victory lies for you?
Key areas, again, defence. I think if we defend well, we stay connected, we put them under pressure, the breakdown, then that gives the lads confidence when we go forward. Obviously then, going forward, we have to attack the gain line, we have to make them defend, and we have to get the breakdown quickly and make sure we clear effectively.
Brilliant. Best luck today, mate. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Ewan.
One of the major injury areas for Salts this year has been in the pack. Front row's changed a number of times, and the back row as well has not stayed consistent throughout most of the year. I spoke to John Munro, forwards coach, and asked him if selection had been a bit of a headache this year.
You could say that, yeah. We've obviously been hampered by injuries and people not available and stuff like that, and it's forced us into selecting players we may not have thought of, like i.e. the Colts and stuff like that, but it's given us a chance to see what they're made of, and they have stepped up, to be honest. Players like Lil Liam Francis and Gavin Evans in the front row especially have stepped up and not let us down, so it's been good. It's been good for them, really, yeah.
I've got to say, it's difficult to think of a consistent back row setup that you had this year. Do you think the return of Mike Beard at lock has opened up more opportunities for you, or has it just given you more headaches in back row selection?
Well, at Salts we've always been strong in the back row, really. It's a place that we've always been able to put a strong side out. But obviously, yeah, Mike Beard's been a big signing for us this season. His presence around the park, his ball carrying's been great, and we have missed him, and he's obviously coming back now. But I think the way we want to play at Salts, the back five of the scrum all needs to be playing like back row, really. They're getting around the park, they're all making the tackles, and yeah, I mean, apart from the actual scrummage, then they all play like back row anyway. So we've had the emergence of Paul Lee now, who's come from the backs going into the pack, which I'm not a big fan of, really, but he's proved me wrong and he's been playing really well there. So again, strength in depth is the back row is where we're strong, really, yeah.
New man at hooker this season as well, late on in the season. How's he shaping up with the props?
I had a Baldock. It's early days, really, but he's scored in his 2 games that he's played so far, and I think it could be the sign of the season, to be honest. He's aggressive, he's got a presence around the park, scrummages well, and his line-out work is excellent, so he's been a big signing for us, really. Come at the right time. Little Liam Francis has been injured, and the day he was injured, Adam signed, so it was a bit of good luck at our half, but yeah, big player.
Best of luck today, John.
Cheers, mate. What's up?
So So finally the game got underway. The first exchanges of the match showed Salts in a very good light. Possession was retained well at breakdown and they showed some clear intention in their attacks, creating some innovative options and good running lines which tested the Moseley Oak defence. However, either the finish to moves eluded Salts or Moseley Oak defence covered the attack, and despite making territory, Salts failed to convert pressure into points. The opening score was a simple penalty from the Moseley Oak scrum half, who had an almost faultless kicking performance. Soon afterwards they followed the penalty with some consistent pressure on the Salts defence before they finally broke the deadlock with a catch and drive from the line to bring the score to 8-0. The scrum half made sure of the conversion and Salts were looking at a 10-point deficit. Salts fought back, but Moseley's tails were up and pressure on the Salts eventually took its toll again, with Salts players being sucked into a ruck after a ruck and the Moseley backs queuing up to score on the opposite side of the field. Again, the Moseley 9 produced an immaculate kick, and at the break Salts had failed to answer the Oak points. They were 17-0 down. The Salts half had been inconsistent. They'd showed some real dynamism, but polish and finish had eluded them. Even at 17 points, the victory was not beyond them, but mentally the failure to dent the Moseley defence meant that the hill to climb on the second half was just a little bit steeper. The second half did see a renewed Salts attack with distinct and constant pressure coming from a pack which took on their opposition and drove them back. After being denied a try by the referee after a maul, Salts' pressure pushed them close to the line, but they were forced to move the ball wide to maintain the attack. As the attack looked to be thwarted again, Tom Lee dropped a deft kick over the oncoming Moseley line to let Josh Smith pick up the ball and dive over the line in the melee of bodies. 10 minutes later, Captain Adam Lee added to the score with another try from a catch and drive at the line. Fly half Blake Bennett stepped up to attempt a tough conversion, but stroked the ball over beautifully through the uprights. Salts were back in touch at 17 points to 12. The next few minutes saw Salts continue with the same vein, but renewed vigour was brought to an abrupt halt with the sin bin of flanker Anthony Evans. The resulting penalty was converted and a 2-score gap opened up on the home side. The tempers had been frayed throughout the half and finally things erupted. Full-back and peacemaker Kyle Rodden stepped in to separate the throng, only to be wrongly carded by the referee, and the game was effectively at an end. Moseley Oak added 2 more penalties to their tally and the final score was 26-12. The Salts defence had been good through most of the game, but the inconsistency in handling and the lack of finishing had cost them dear. With plenty of positives to take away from the match, Salts can now focus on recovery, and I spoke to Captain Adam Lee and asked him for his opinion on the defeat.
Performance was good. Result didn't go our way. So.
No. Bit fractious during the second half?
I think that we built up some good momentum, but then the ref just destroyed the game for us towards the end and stopped us from playing our game, and that's what happened.
Any positives to take away?
Massively. The team, the heart of the team, a lot of changes we had to make to the starting lineup. The team come in and fought like lions. The way they played, they had good hands, good team, very good setup, but they couldn't cope with us at the breakdown up front. We destroyed them.
Do you think you kind of suffered a little bit not putting some points on the board in the first half to answer them?
Potentially, yeah. I think that I think it was just a bit of luck of the draw in the first half. I felt we had a good possession, but the second half is really when we took off and we really put pressure on them.
Right. Where do we go from here?
Well, got a lot of players back next week, so hopefully we can kick on from there. We have suffered a few injuries as of last week, but we're confident in the squad and we know we can push on.
Excellent. And who's your man of the match for this game?
My man of the match today is Josh Smith, number 9.
So the Geography Squared man of the match is Josh Smith. Well done, Josh. Pleased with that?
Yeah, chuffed. It's nice playing behind a pack that's going forward. I mean, it makes a hell of a difference.
Seemed fairly dominant up front and marshalled them well.
Yeah, no, when you're playing behind a pack like that, it makes things a lot easier. And different today was a lot of the little things did come off when we had the ball going forward. And if a few more had, who knows, might turn it over.
Yeah, a bit more time and it would have worked out. Did you, were you the person that fell over the line there for the try in the corner?
I was, yeah, just following Tommy Lee as usual and hoping for the best.
It was a nice little kick through, good service.
Yeah, well, they're the easy ones. You just only have to travel a yard, just fall over the line. So.
Excellent, well done, mate.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
So there you go, that's the first edition of SaltsTV. Next week, Old Salts are away at Aston Old Edwardians, and a great game's in prospect down at Sunnybank Avenue. If you can possibly get down and support our first 15 or follow our second 15 or third 15, then please do so. Thanks for watching.